Hi, this is Father Lou, still at Dey Mansion. Wearing a tri-corner hat is Alex. I asked Alex what he's dressed for, and he's dressed as a militiaman of the day, right?
Absolutely.
Could you describe your clothing?
So it's all natural fibers, linen, linen sleeve waistcoat, linen shirt, canvas breeches, and cotton stockings. So it's all linen, all cotton, all canvas, natural fibers.
And you just graduated college, by the way.
I did.
What college?
It's Moravian College in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania.
And your major was?
History.
Of course. Great. I was fascinated with this thing you're carrying, this rifle. Like Second Amendment, I guess. But go ahead, talk about it.
So this right here is a musket. It is a smoothbore musket.
Say that again?
Smoothbore musket.
Smoothbore.
So the difference between a rifle and this weapon is that a rifle has grooves drilled inside the barrel, which put a spin on the projectile. This is more akin to a shotgun. So it's smooth on the inside, and it fires a musket ball that is smaller than the bore being the inside of the musket. So when it's fired, that musket ball is going to rattle around inside, and it's going to be inaccurate out to about 100 yards. Mm-hmm. At about 50 yards, I'm going to hit what I'm shooting at most of the time.
Right.
About 100 yards, not so much. This is a British musket.
How do the Americans get the British musket?
Well, they could get them a number of ways. If one was old enough, they could have gotten it when they were distributed during the French and Indian War, which occurred in the 1760s.
Okay.
Now this is a second model. So there were three models of British musket in the 18th century. There was the first model, which was used during the French and Indian War. Mm-hmm. There was this model, the second model, which was developed after the French and Indian War, before the Revolution. And there was the India pattern musket, which was developed after the Revolution. Okay. So this is in the middle. This is the brown Bess. When you hear the brown Bess, they're talking about this weapon right here.
Hires and don't shoot it, but demonstrate how you would shoot it.
So, so first I would take out a paper cartridge from the cartridge box. Yeah, of course. So this is just a paper tube with gunpowder in it. If this was a live round, there would be a ball right here, a musket ball, about 1 ounce. To fire it, I would bite off the end, spit out the tail, then I would prime the pan. So as you can see, there's a pan right here. I would pour a little bit of gunpowder in the pan, and then I'd shut the hammer. Then I'd cast the weapon about. And it's a muzzle loader, so it loads from the muzzle. I would then reverse the cartridge. So you see the ball is now, where it was on the bottom of the cartridge, is now on the top and goes in last. Put the rest of the gunpowder down, and the musket ball in an unfired musket would just slide right down. Right. However, I would then, losing gunpowder, I would then withdraw the ramrod and seat the cartridge at the bottom of the barrel.
It's locked in.
Sorry?
What was that word? Seat?
Seat.
Seat. Oh, seat.
Yeah, seat the musket at the bottom of the barrel. Return the ramrod. That's probably the most important step, is to return the ramrod. Because you fire you fire the ramrod, sure, it's going to skewer maybe 3 or 4 enemies.
Right.
Then you're going to need to go get back.
Right.
And, they can't just call timeout in the middle of an 8th century battlefield. Oh, hang on, I need to get my ramrod back. So now the weapon is primed and loaded.
It takes time.
A good soldier can fire this weapon in about 15 seconds.
Oh, okay. Good.
Still takes time. At this point, it's primed and loaded. The weapon is at half cock. I would then pull the hammer back. Heard that click?
Yes.
Means it's at full cock. It's now ready to fire.
It says here 1762. Grice.
Grice.
Is that the manufacturer?
So there were 3 main manufacturers in the British Isles. 2 of them were Grice. Grice was in Scotland. Okay. And Tower, which was in London, at the Tower. and that's where they were assembled. So all the parts of this musket were brought in from different parts of the British Isles,
Okay.
and they were all brought to these manufacturing places, one of them being the Tower of London, and they were put together. You know, certain parts went to certain muskets, and there was no real system for, you know, this lock is definitely going to this musket, this barrel is definitely going to this musket.
Okay.
It would all go to the Tower of London, and they'd fit different parts and say, oh, well, this lock fits this musket, and this barrel fits this musket. We have a full musket.
That's great. Okay, describe the rest of what you're wearing because everything's interesting.
Yes, absolutely.
No,
So-
go ahead. We're gonna go.
We'll start on the left side.
Sure. Okay.
So this is the bayonet. It fits on the end of the musket. You can see there's a little lug right there.
Okay.
That's where the bayonet fits. It's it turns the weapon to a spear. However, as you can see, I'll hold it up for you. There's a hole, so you can still fire this musket with the bayonet on.
Okay. Okay.
Albeit it'll be slower because you don't want to skewer your hand on the bayonet.
Yes.
Then we have a haversack that's just for carrying around different things that I'll need. Bowl, cup, food, rations are carried in there. And finally we have the canteen.
Is that handmade?
Yes, so
Yeah. Interesting.
yes, absolutely. All this is handmade.
Wow. Where did you get that? I mean, how did you make it?
I did not make it. This was issued to me by the militia.
Okay. I mean, you're not going to go to your department store and buy one of those. That's for sure.
I mean, you could go to a tinsmith and they might make one for you, but
Right.
you know, takes some skill to make it.
Alex, thank you very much. I really appreciate this insight for all of us on your uniform and the activity of a militia person.
Of course.
It's always called militiaman
Yes, militiaman.
because women were in militia.
Well, no, not officially and not legally.
Right.
However, during the war, of course, you had women, Deborah Sampson being a prime example of women finding their way into the army and fighting.
Good.
Most of them were discovered and then booted out of the army.
Oh, interesting.
Yes,
Interesting.
absolutely, absolutely.
Thank you very much. I'm looking
course.
forward for the rest of the activities of this day.
course.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, and congratulations on your graduation.
Thank you very much.
This has been Father Louis Scurti with Alex. Last name?
Pena.
Pena. Pena. Spanish?
Yes.
Nice, nice. Okay, with Spanish roots. Here at the Dey Mansion Militia Day reenactment. Thank you for joining us, and tune in for the next segment on friendsoftheword.org. Good hearing from you. Let me hear from you. Father Louis Scurti at hotmail.com. God bless you.